Welcome to another 10 Talk. I'm excited again today to have Jennifer Lieben here, and she's going to talk more about these technology tools. If you didn't get to see her Google Classroom 10 Talk, go back and catch that Google Classroom for Beginners, and we've already talked about the advanced one we're going to do, right, Jennifer? So
yes.
Jennifer is going to talk today about Screencastify, which really is about beginner making kind of quick and easy beginning videos. Jennifer is has been a middle level visual arts and technology teacher. She's currently stepping into a library specialist position, and she also, which we're very fortunate to have her, is a 2020 Illinois Teacher of the Year finalist. So my name is Nancy Latham. I'm from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, and I'm excited. This is part one. We're going to do a part two. So this is part one of an easy tool for making videos, and our next part two will be if you want to get all schmancy, right? So Jennifer.
That's the exact word I use, schmancy. So yeah. Okay, so we're going to start by talking about Screencastify, because when teachers are using remote learning and they're, faced with having to like make a video or do instruction via video, they usually freak out and they go, I hate the sound of my voice, I hate how I look on, camera. And the first thing I would say is just kind of like get over it, because kids already think you look silly. Like they, or maybe that was just my middle school experience. I don't know. But yeah, seriously, like you just kind of have to dive into it. But one of the ways that you can make videos really, really easily, and you don't even have to be on camera, is through Screencastify. And Screencastify is a Chrome extension. It is free, and they are an Illinois, like Chicago-based company. So you got to share some love. So I'm going to share my screen to kind of show you some Screencastify stuff. So I'm going to open this up and share. And yes, we're good?
We're good.
Okay, so this is screencastify.com. So the first thing you have to do when you go to this website is that you have to install the extension. So this is a Chrome extension. Unfortunately, this is one of those tools that will not work on an iPad, but iPads do have their native screen recording ability anyways. So there are, other ways to do that. So once you install it, it will say already installed, which mine does. And you just go through a really simple initial like installation, allowing the microphone, allowing the camera. It's not a big deal, pretty easy to get through. Once you do that, you will have the extension in your corner, and it looks like the little Screencastify logo, which is this arrow with a camera in front of it. And it's as easy as clicking the extension and a little drop down happens. That's how you start recording. So like easy peasy.
Wow. Okay.
There are some options within this, like recording just a browser tab, which honestly I don't really use. I usually stick with desktop in case I'm clicking around, it records everything. But there's also Webcam Only. So even though it's a screencasting tool, you can actually utilize the Webcam Only and have like students record themselves talking, or me talking to the screen, which is something I used to do for my kids every week. I'd do like a little weekly, like, hey, here's what's up kind of deal. But you can also use them together by clicking embed webcam. I can actually record my screen and myself, demonstrating something on the screen, but then my little picture shows up in the corner too.
So if I embed the webcam, my picture's in the corner. If not, you're just going to get my screen.
Yes, correct.
Okay,
and you have the ability to kind of control those things. Now, most of the time, if I'm demonstrating something, I won't be on the screen, but if I'm doing like a weekly video for my kids, or I used to do this with sub plans all the time, I would embed the webcam. So I was in the corner so that you had like, kids want to see their teachers. So that way you have like a face to the voice, the disembodied voice that they hear. And especially in the case of like sub plans, that way I could be like right on the screen, like, you better be good for the teacher.
You mean the sub plan for the kids or the sub plan for the sub?
No, I mean, when I would be out and there would be a sub, I would actually record this for the kids so that they would go into their Google Classroom, click on the video and watch it, and I would teach what they were going to do for the day.
I love that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's intense. So, so there are advantages to using the webcam and the screen, or just the screen and vice versa. So these are just purely options you can have. There are drawing tools as well in case you want to like kind of direct attention to certain things or annotate things. You can do that too. But keeping it simple, let's just turn the webcam off. Let's just do desktop recording. I literally hit record, and usually I get like, I'm going to get which screen do you want to record? I get like a 3, 2, 1, like little bing, 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 and now it's recording. So anything I do on here and I'm moving around and clicking, it's recording this stuff on the screen. And once I'm done, it's as simple as going in and clicking stop or pause or, oh, I hate that, let's start over, or trash that, you know? When as soon as I hit stop, look what happens. I didn't do anything. This just popped up on its own. And you can see what I was recording right here. It plays it back for me. And it actually plays it back on mute. So you can actually unmute it, because otherwise it could be kind of jarring sometimes. You're like, oh, but you instantly get to watch back what you recorded. You can go up here and click and name it whatever you want to call it. So I'll call it demonstration. Whoops, sorry, it started playing. So I call it demonstration. And then you notice here, this says Google Drive. Here's the cool thing about Screencastify. When you first set it up, you set it up, and this is how all of our students do it at my school, that it auto saves your videos to Google Drive in a folder called Screencastify. So once I've recorded this, it's now saved in Drive. I don't have to do anything. If I forget, it's still there. So when doing this with students, it's so great, because you get a lot of that, like, well, I don't know where I saved it, and oh, I forgot to hit save, you know, or where would it be? It's in your folder. It's right there in your Screencastify folder. So again, easy, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of can't,
really
you
is.
can't, I don't want to say you can't mess it up, but it's very hard to.
So then when I go into my Google Drive folder, is there a link for me to embed the video places?
Let's actually click. I am going to show you my Google Drive. I'm risking it here. So here's my Google Drive. And if I scroll down, there's a folder called Screencastify. Now, I didn't create that folder, Screencastify did. And when I double click it to open it up, these are all the videos that I've made on Screencastify, which is quite a few you can see that have saved over time. And this is just in my personal account. So that has auto-saved. And once I go in on these videos, I can share them just like any other Google Drive file. So I have the ability to like get shareable link and share it out that way. You can do this from right within Screencastify. Do you see? Copy shareable link. So I don't even have to go into Drive and find it. I can just copy it right here from within their interface. I can share to Classroom right from their interface. I could publish to YouTube from the internet. You know what I mean? All of this stuff, it's so great. And because it saves in Google Drive, you could do things like embed the video on like a Google site if you were gonna do that too. So it's just so great how everything all talks to each other and makes your life easier, and you don't need to be like a computer programmer. So.
Well, and I like this example of that you did. It showed both of our pictures. So even if you wanted students to in some way give feedback, but in groups, they would all be there together. Or if it's the individual, or not, but the individual student, it really is a lot like Flipgrid.
Yeah, my students
give a video reaction.
I actually used to like App Smash, it's called, where I would have students create a screencast of themselves talking about a project we did in class. And then they would upload that video to Flipgrid so that other students could watch it and then like respond to it. Like,
oh, now that would be the only thing at Flipgrid you can see, but this one, right. Wow.
Well, and then honestly, like not to get totally off topic, but Flipgrid has had so many updates. I think you can actually do that from within the tool now, but at the time you were using it, you couldn't. So yeah.
Okay. This is nice and basic, right?
Oh yeah. Do I have time to show you one more really fun thing?
Sure, absolutely.
Yay. Okay, so here's my favorite thing about Screencastify, and that is that not only can you save your videos, but you can actually, like as videos, you can download your videos as an animated GIF. So this is super helpful because GIF files can be put into like a Google Doc. It's an image file is what it is. So there are certain places where you can't embed a video, but you could put a picture in. So if you create a GIF from your video file, you can now put that into your document. Plus, the thing about GIFs is that they just sort of autoplay and loop. So I like to use this, say I'm like demonstrating a skill for my students. Here's one that I have that was how to use the formatting tool in slides to format like multiple items. If I take that, this is just a screen, you're looking at a screencast that I had made before, and I click Export Animated GIF, give it a second because it has to export or whatever. But I can take that file, put it into a Google Doc, and it just shows the students like over and over, like click here, do this, click here, do this, click here, do, you know what I mean? So rather than showing the students how to, I don't know, in middle school I get a lot of like, where do we go to download this? You know, so little simple things where I can be like, file download as, file download. Yeah. They see it over and over and it's like, oh, okay. So if we take a look at my GIF here, let's see if I can, looks like that's all finished. This is a brand new Mac and it's kind of slow. I don't know what's up with it. Yeah. Yeah. But you download it, and then once you watch it, it should just play back over and over again. Come on, file, open up for me so we can demonstrate how cool this is.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it's not going to do it for me because Mac's open in preview, and it's just going to show the different frames.
Oh, it's just so, but it would just play it over and over wherever you embedded it. So that's
correct.
Amazing. Okay.
Correct. So I use that all the time. This works on my Chromebook. This works on, Screencastify works on my Mac as long as I'm using the Chrome browser. So anywhere you can use Chrome and use this extension, it's such a great tool to use. Now, I used the GIF tool with my students because in art class, we created these kinetic sculptures that moved. You like cranked them and they moved. So students used the webcam feature. I'm gonna turn off for a second here. Students use the webcam feature in Screencastify to set their sculpture down, point the camera at the sculpture, and just do a little clip recording it of they were like turning the crank and it was moving. But then they exported them as GIF files and turned them into Google Classroom for me so that you could see, you know, a static photo of their sculpture wasn't going to work. We had to see it in motion. So it was kind of neat because they got to like digitize and make them into GIFs. So it was just like a fun way that you could have students make GIFs then too that works.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you, Jennifer. This has been great. We're going to do a part 2, like I said, where she's going to show us a tool where if you want to get even fancier with your videos, you can. So this will be up in the top 10 list along with everything we talked about and more. So grab that. Thank you, Jennifer.